Yep, I'm recording it now.
Okay. That's the last thing I need. Jeff Flores finding. Oh, look. She's putting blabbing about her income on the internet.
First and foremost, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. You guys know that you're all leaders in our group and showing up for this call at 9:15 on a Thursday evening when we all have families and jobs and husbands and significant others and people that need us. So just kudos to everybody on the call tonight. So tonight, Nadia and I are going to tag team, my girl Hot Mess Express, are going to tag team two things that really go together. One is overcoming fear, and the other is sharing your story and the value of sharing your story. So I had never seen this acronym for fear before, this face it, explore it, accept it, and respond. I really like that. I mean, we've all seen fear as false evidence appearing real, or there's a few others out there too, and I'll get to those as well. But so I'm going to start with fear and just ask you, what are you afraid of in this business? So there are tons of things in this business that we can be afraid of, right? Maybe you're afraid of this guy, right? Sleep tight, I'm under your bed, crazy kitties. No, just kidding. So this is definitely something to be afraid of, but the Beachbody business, not something to be afraid of, okay? So crazy clowns, scary clowns, be afraid. Beachbody, not afraid. Good, we're good, okay. So here's just a quick story about why I'm not sharing my story because I'm going to let Nadia share her story, but I just want to let you know this is kind of where my fears come from. All of our fears usually come from our past, right? So our fears either come from our childhood, or maybe it was something that happened to us in early adulthood or whatever. My fears really kind of happened in early adulthood. I have this huge fear of being rejected. I wanted to become Miss America. I pretty much grew up wanting to be Miss America. I competed in the Miss Virginia Scholarship program for 6 years, all the while going to school full time. I became a spokesperson for the Mid-Atlantic region of the American Heart Association, helped them raise over $3 million, passed 2 resolutions in the state of Virginia. I just pretty much made that my job, was to be Miss America. Win Miss Virginia, become Miss America, make heart disease prevention my platform, and change the world, right? I never became Miss Virginia. The closest I became was first runner-up. And as you can see, this is the picture from when I was first runner-up. I really thought I was going to win that year. So I had a lot to overcome of being worthy, being worthy of a title, or being worthy of just me as a person. So that's a fear of rejection is really big for me. And we'll talk about that. I also, my husband and I have overcome bankruptcy. We've had our house foreclosed on and lost our house. We've had 2 vehicles repossessed, where people have come to our home at 2:30 in the morning and looked in our garage to find our vehicles. So no and rejection and risks and starting your own business. By the way, we had started our own business, and that's the reason, and our business failed. It was a gym, a brick and mortar, and that's the reason we had a 3rd mortgage on our home. So that's the reason we lost our home. And anyway, long story short, the fear of rejection and no, and just these risks are all out there. And that's kind of where my fears come from. And yours could be very similar. Moving on. So what are we scared of in Beachbody? There's a lot of things. Rejection, inviting, getting a no, social media overload, being too salesy, consistency, not knowing everything. There's a lot of products out there. And especially with the launch of some of these new things like the boosts and the performance line. And if you're not a nutritionist, or maybe you're not really big into supplements, even Shakeology probably scares you a little bit. So these are some things. Being a leader, right? So now we're asking you to build your team. You've got people relying on you, talking the talk, talking about the business, being a coach, closing the sale, or maybe it's starting over. This is also a fear that I had too. I did Beachbody, 3.5, almost 4 years ago, and I was horrible at it. So starting over, coming back and becoming a Beachbody coach was very scary for me. And I had to overcome the fact that the people that I had already talked to on social media about being a Beachbody coach, now I'm talking to them again 3.5, 4 years later. So, so these could be some of your fears. So we've talked about this, different meanings for fears: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. I really like that one. Fears are stories we tell ourselves, right? So I had a great mentor once tell me that 95% of the things that we worry about or we're anxious about never even happen. Has that happened to you guys? Where you've been like, oh my gosh, the worst case scenario, this could very well happen. And if it happens, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose all my friends. Nobody's going to like me on Facebook anymore. So-and-so is not going to continue to order from me. They're going to drop out of the challenge. Like, we have all of these little fears, and they're kind of lies that we tell ourselves, and then it never ends up happening. And we worked ourselves up, and we've created all this negative energy, and it kind of affects our life. It affects other people around us, our friends, how we interact with people, because we're kind of like, I'm just waiting for that other ball to drop, right? Or that other shoe to drop, or however that saying goes. And then it never happens. And I was once told that by a mentor of mine, and it really stuck to me. And I was like, you know what? Whatever I'm worrying about right now may or may not happen. So just keep that in mind. You hear Megan say this all the time, but let your faith be bigger than your fear. I remember I had a mentor call with Megan really early on, and she told me a really quick story about listening to a church sermon at her old church in Florida when she had moved back to Pittsburgh. And that the pastor mentioned that fear was listed in the Bible, or God talked about fear in the Bible 365 times. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so that means that if we look at it like as a year, there's 365 days in a year. So every single day there could be something that we could be afraid of. But also every single day, God is going to be there to get you through whatever it is that you're afraid of, or you have anxiety about, or you're anxious about. And I thought, man, right? So he's not going to fail us. So let your faith be bigger than your fear. Megan, I still remember that story, just FYI. All right. So the choice is yours, guys. You have the choice of being afraid of these things. But let's talk about just a few. I'm just going to highlight a few that you could be afraid of. So this one has been coming around a lot, right? We're afraid we're being too salesy. Maybe you posted 12 Shakeology recipes in one day that you thought were in one post. That's definitely being too salesy. So let's talk about what it looks like. This right here is too salesy. And if you've made a post like this recently, I'm sorry, here's a little bit of tough love. I love you guys to the moon and back. Just know that. And as Kristen would say, the extra long way. I had a mom from one of my mommy meetup groups send me this picture from somebody who she follows on Facebook, and she said, can you give me this deal? And of course I came back and said, absolutely, I can give you this deal. Basically what I would be doing is giving you a $10 grocery gift card to start your clean eating. Or maybe I'm going to give her the free Fixate book, which is a $15 value. I'm not actually going to give her $10. That's not how this works. But I would never make this post. So the reason she had to send it to me to ask me if I would do this for her is because she's never going to see this on my page. Beachbody spends millions of dollars marketing these products. We've seen the infomercials. Guys, have you guys seen Size? Have you seen the marketing that's gone into this? I mean, it's incredible. The graphics, the design, it's just incredible. They don't need us to sell anything. They don't need us to post their product pictures. They don't need us to do this. They don't need us to, really to even hold up the DVD box. They don't need us to do any of that. So when you are concerned about if you're being too salesy, this is too salesy. If you're holding up a bag of your Shakeology, if you're not in it, if you're not in the picture, if you're not talking about transformation or how it's benefiting you, then you're being too salesy. And we've all been there. And I'm not saying we haven't. And this is, again, tough love. And I'm learning it too, guys. I've been in this now for almost 8 months. But I have come to find out that this stuff doesn't really stick. And this is how you become too salesy. So I'm just putting it out there. If you've done something like this lately, that's all right. Tweak it and move on. What does sell? You being you. So this is Miss Ashley on her vacay, and she has 50 likes, 50 plus likes on both of these pictures, and she just posted them in the last couple days. And this isn't saying anything about Beachbody, but people who are following her know that her extra income that she is making with Beachbody is helping her fund this fun family vacay with her pugs and her husband. So your story that you're sharing on Facebook is automatically plugged into the fact that you're a Beachbody coach, that you're creating these opportunities in your life through extra income. That's your story. That's what you share. You don't have to be salesy. She doesn't have to be posting, a picture of her drinking her Shakeology, hey, we're able to do this vacation because of the 21 Day Fix and Shakeology. This is what I'm talking about. 50 plus likes for these. And this is what you guys should be doing. You should be making sure, Megan talks about the 80-20 rule, 80% of your posts should be about your family, you, what you love, your 5 things that set you apart. That's where you're going to get likes. Okay, that's where you're going to start to build momentum on your page. The other 20% is going to be about the great things that Beachbody does for your life. Here's another one. Nadia right here with her actual transformation with 21 Day Fix Extreme. These are her results. This is her story. 47 likes, or actually 50 plus, because there's a couple. She's got 50 plus on this one too. Mine is just a picture. I don't even have hardly any wording, just morning selfie. I had 60 likes, 17 comments, and 1 share on a MyFit Pregnancy website or Facebook page. So again, guys, this is what you're to do. I didn't mention anything about 21 Day Fix. Nadia has her actual pictures, her transformation pictures, and the 21 Day Fix Extreme results right here. She's, Transformation Tuesday. This was a Transformation Tuesday picture too. This is how you share the business. This is how you do it without being salesy. This is what you want to learn to do, to not be completely overload. Now, there are going to be some times that you are going to have the size workout in there and the size logo, but that's the 20%. The 80% should just be this, you sharing you. And that's how you don't have social media overload and be too salesy. All right, so don't sell Beachbody, sell you. Instead of pushing product, be the product. They don't need you to do the commercials. We've all seen Autumn's 21 Day Fix commercial on TV, right? So we don't need to do that. You are the brand. People buy the products because of you, not because of a sell. So don't compete with Beachbody. You're the brand. You're your own brand. People are following you because of you. They are not following you because you're a Beachbody coach. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't burst anybody's bubble just now. All right. Are you afraid of inviting? So some of us are still as brand new coaches, and even as a little bit older coaches or seasoned coaches, inviting can still be kind of like, it's like, sometimes it's like starting over, right? It's like working a sales job and you have a new quota at the beginning of every month. So you have to get 50 sales, like you're selling cars, and you have to sell 50 cars in July. And that's like our SC10. And once we get SC10, we're like, whew, and then all of a sudden August starts and we've got to invite again and sell 50 more cars and get SC10. And that can be scary. Here's our little invitation: push play, get sweaty, feel good, lose weight, repeat, 21 Day Fix. We're sending those out, right? Well, main reason that we are scared of sending out an invitation is because of that rejection or getting no. And I told you guys already that this is one of my fears. I have this fear of being rejected, of not being good enough, or that I don't carry some sort of value that people are going to say, yes, I want to be a part of your challenge group. Yes, I want to be, I want to order Shakeology. I want to try it. I want to see if the benefits are going to help me. So this is just a neat little statistic that I pulled about Derek Jeter. So he makes he did make $24.3 million. And his batting average is 20%. So that means when he steps up to the plate, he's 80% more likely to not hit at all than to hit the ball. And look how much money he makes. Right? He wakes up every morning though, loves his job, loves what he does, goes to practice, does what he's supposed to do, shows up for work, even though he knows he may not even hit the ball. So what's that say about us? Who wants to make $24.3 million? Holla! Who wants to be up there with the top coaches or making $2,000 a week for showing up, being consistent, and inviting, and not being afraid of rejection? Okay? So just remember, we can be like Derek Jeter. Just show up, love the game, right? We got to love the game. Show up. All right, 5 tips to erasing your fears, okay, of inviting. Build meaningful relationships, guys. And this seems like a no-brainer, but you need to be making sure that the people that you're reaching out to, you have maybe sent them a little inspire, little picture and little thing on their Facebook wall, that you are kind of having other conversations. You're commenting on their pictures. You're not just, it was their birthday and you didn't just put HBD on their wall, happy birthday, just hashtag HBD. You didn't even have the time to even write out happy birthday, girl. Super excited for this year for you. So build meaningful relationships with people with your Facebook group of followers or your social media followers. Change your vocabulary. So this is a big one, and it's just something I just now started to do. And it's really helped me a lot because people don't talk like we do. We talk about this all the time, but instead of using invite, say, I would like to share this opportunity with you if it's coaching, or I would like to share this amazing program with you that's changed my life. I have lost 22 pounds and I'm, down 19% body fat or whatever it is. Use the word share instead of invite. Use the word online accountability or support group instead of challenge group. Challenge group, people get kind of cray-cray when you say challenge group because that means like, this is like Biggest Loser. I got to step up to some sort of challenge. People, we give out trophies now for 8th place. So people aren't super, they don't want a challenge where it means that they have to step up their game. So start to change your vocabulary a little bit. I've even been changing my vocabulary with the portion control containers, right? Because sometimes that's a little well, what does that mean? People are like portion control, so even I've been saying color-coded containers that are going to help you know how much to eat of what. Simplify it. So change your vocabulary. Remember your purpose, guys. Number 3, remember your purpose. We are helping people, right? We are helping people on their health and fitness journey. We're helping people feel better about themselves. We're helping people get their sexy back. Megan, help me get my sexy back, girl. Happy wife, happy life. So remember what you're doing. You are changing people's lives. You're inspiring them. You're motivating them. Your invitation or you're sharing with them something that positively impacted your life. How can you be afraid to do that? Right? So remember your purpose. Remember what you're doing. Your invitation isn't to sell a $45,000 Lexus. Your invitation is to sell health, without them having to leave the comfort of their home, without them having to put their baby in the screaming car seat, without them taking them to the daycare, at the gym, dropping them off with a dirty diaper, being interrupted on the treadmill, having to change a diaper, and then you got to bring snacks, and did you pump before you left so you have bottles? I mean, it goes on and on. So remember your purpose. Think bigger. So I put this one in here because I know my team and my Team Cup, we're going to do the 100 no's for August for Team Cup. And my whole team, my Fit Fam and my Team Cup team. So if you're not familiar with the 100 no's, it's basically a sheet that has circles on it, 100 circles. And we're going to send out 100 invitations. We're going to reach out to 100 people, everybody, not just me. So that means there's 500 no's. But one person, 100 no's. Every 10 no's, you should get 1 yes. So if I'm sending out 100 invitations, how many yeses is that? I won't make you do the math. It's 10. So yay! Good job, Justina. So it's 10, and that means how many SC points? 20. Nice, right? So if I get 10 people to buy challenge packs, that's 20 SC points. Boom. I just hit my Team Cup goal, right? So 100 no's. Think big. Think about how many people can I reach out to? If I'm reaching out to 100 people in a month, what does that look like? Get your invitation list together. And guys, just do it. You know what? Once it's done, you're going to find out that people are going to be so much more responsive than what you ever thought. It kind of goes back to that 95% of what you worry about never happens. So if you're worried about getting rejected, or you're worried that somebody's going to cut you off from Facebook and put you in Facebook jail, probably not going to happen. So just do it. Oh, this is the 100 no's. Sorry. What are you afraid of? This is what it looks like. And I believe it's in the Fit Tribe. All right. Are you afraid of following up? So these are the 3. The last one. You guys know that the fortune is in the follow-up. I can't stress this enough. So here's the art of following up. So when we talk about timing, tact, and tools, and I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to let Nadia hop in here. Timing is everything. So guys, there's no secret science. You definitely better try more than one time. I send emails or Facebook message the day I receive a new contact. I do not wait. I do not pass go or do not collect $200. As soon as I get a new lead or I have somebody who messages me immediately and says, hey, I'm interested in size, then once I get an opportunity, I let them know if I'm out and about that I can't get it to them right away. Then as soon as I do get back to a computer, I send it to them right away, all the information that they need. If your first 2 touches go unanswered, don't get discouraged, because how many messages do you guys get a day in your email, right? Like I get like 70 some. Now, most of it's junk, but I've got to wade through all of that to try to get to the ones that I actually need to respond back to. And sometimes that's 9 o'clock at night. So you might get lost in the shuffle. So don't get discouraged. Make sure that you follow up 24, 48, 72 hours, especially right here where the end of the month and the promo's getting ready to end. This is where you've got their best interest in mind, at heart, right? So you're just like, hey girl, I know you said you wanted to be a part of my next 21-day fix challenge group. I've mentioned before it's on promo, but today is the actual last day for you to order. And I just want to make sure you get this deal because you're going to save yourself $20. And if you're waiting to talk to your hubby, go talk to him really quickly and get back to me. So again, give them some urgency, but make sure you don't get discouraged. Keep on touching base with them. Tact and toe. So basically be humble, honest, and appreciative. You're appreciative that they're actually responding to your Facebook message, right? So don't be like, finally got back to me, I was about to cut you off. Make the connection personal. Make sure you're actually talking to them on their level. What do they need? If they don't need everybody needs the Fix It cookbook. I shouldn't even put that out there. But if they don't need it, then again, that's not something you're going to suggest. But make sure you make the connection personal. Have a plan and keep it simple. So we don't want to overwhelm our clients or our customers. We want to make sure that they know we're just kind of right straight to the point, right? So we want to help you, and here's how we can help you. And do your homework, know the person. And we talked about form, family, occupation, recreation, and message. So you should know this person. You shouldn't be looking around on their Facebook page at the last minute wondering, how should I follow up with them? Did they have a birthday party to go this weekend? Were they on vacation and now I need to help them get back on track? Maybe they need to do a 3-day refresh. So make sure that you really know your person when you're doing the follow-up, okay? And leverage some tools. And these are some tools out there you guys have seen us use: MailChimp, Google Docs, Hootsuite, Simple Coaching Link. These should be up on your favorites bar. They should be a quick click. If you're lucky enough to have the Coaching Codes app on your Android phone, that thing is handy. I should probably put that one on here. But these are some really easy tools to use to schedule your challenge groups, to schedule your follow-ups. So if you're not familiar with these, I would get familiar with them. I know I flew through that really fast, but are you afraid to share your story? So Brené Brown has the book of Embracing Your Gifts of, I just lost it, and I have the book. I'll get it to you before the end of this. But loving ourselves through the process of owning our gifts of imperfection. Sorry, the book is called Gifts of Imperfection. Loving ourselves through the process of owning our story is the bravest thing we'll ever do. So just remember that. And Nadia's going to talk about sharing your story. So I'm going to hand it over to my girl, Nadia.
Created using patterns.
Once I do that. All right, Nadia. Let me stop share. And you are a go. Hit it, girl.
Hi, guys. Lisa, is it cutting out for you?
You're good.
In and out? Okay. All right, guys. guys. So I today actually is my 1 year anniversary with Beachbody as a coach. So I'm super excited. It's been 1 year. So I really have been going back and forth about what part of my story I'm going to share. When I was at Summit, they talked about a lot of things. They talked about, your Beachbody story being 3 different parts. So it's, your financial, your physical, and your emotional. So for me, it really has been all 3. So I'm going to try to get through it without crying. I'm just listening to Lisa's story, even just, and I know she just kind of glossed over it. Getting to know everyone on this team has been so amazing and just really inspires me every single day. So, but when I was like thinking of sharing just, almost my surface story, I looked in my notes from Summit and it says, share the climb of your life over and over again. So I'm going to do that. So this is my first time going live with my story, telling it. I've done it in different groups and, typed it out and things, but, not actually on video. So here goes. So my story pretty much starts when I was 23 years old. I was in grad school and I was working in a psychiatric hospital. I found out that I was pregnant, and my husband now and I were broken up at the time, so I was scared to death. I was at that phase in my life where, you're still planning everything and you're, envisioning this like really easy life for yourself. And, I'm going to graduate and then I'm going to have like this picture perfect wedding and, probably not actually work. I mean, to be honest, I didn't actually think I was going to work. I thought I was going to get married, stay home with my kids. And, so when this all came to pass, I was scared and I didn't know what to do. So, and when my mom heard that I was pregnant, she was also scared. And so when she was not supportive, then I was like, uh-oh, I'm really in trouble. And she's like, I support you with it, whatever you want to do. So I didn't know if I was going to have the baby. And it's really hard for me to admit that. But so my sister came into town, we went to dinner together, and we're sitting there at dinner, and there's this young couple across the table. It's actually Benihana, if any of you have been to that, but we're sitting there, and there's this like young couple with this baby, and they're just, they're doing it. I mean, they probably were like in their, late teens, and I looked at my sister and I'm like, I'm going to have this baby. And I prayed that night and I said to God, I am going to be the best mother, and this child is going to be my priority. And I have stayed true to that. I have always stayed true to that. So, I had my son a few years later. My husband and I got married. And then, we wanted to grow our family. So, okay, here you go. I'll draw it. Okay. So so we thought we were going to grow our family. I had one miscarry after another, and I had, it was like 3 in a span of a year and a half. And I started to lose hope that I would have another baby. And I prayed and prayed about it. And, then I was pregnant again with twins. And they told me that I probably would lose one or both throughout. And here's Letta. Sorry. Still wants me to draw a picture. Okay. Here you go, Benny. Shh. Okay. Go. You want a piece of paper? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So I did lose one of the. Okay. So I had a baby, you know, beautiful baby girl. I did lose the other baby. And then, you know, we were so happy. And a few months later, my clothes were getting too tight again when I went back to work. And I was like, what's going on?
I want to draw people in there.
I'll draw people. And then I found out I was pregnant again. And I knew from that moment that there was going to be another little girl. I knew it was the twin that I had lost. And, you know, lo and behold, that, you know, I had
Mom,
this little girl.
Have feet.
Okay, I'll give him feet. Okay. So I, you know, I had Cecilia. And so at this point, I had been through 6 pregnancies in 4 years. My body was a mess. I had gained 60 pounds with the pregnancy. And like my hormones were shot, and I had the worst postpartum. I couldn't leave the house. I didn't want to leave the kids. I was scared something would happen to them. Shh, please, baby. Please, let mommy tell this story, okay? Okay. Okay. Here you go, baby. All right, now go get go show Letta. Dom, can you draw a picture for her? Okay, I'm sorry. So, you know, it was hard for me. I got through it with the help of therapy, and, you know, made it back to work. And then, you know, I was sitting in my office, and a student came in, and I could smell her hair. And I was like, oh no, I'm pregnant again. And I was pregnant again. And I was so scared. And I was devastated, because I did not think that I could physically get through it. Emotionally, I thought I'd have to give the baby up for adoption. I was not thinking clearly. So after I had Navina, and her name's Navina for any Catholics that, you know the prayer Novena, you know, because I prayed constantly. I did the rosary constantly. I was so worried that I wasn't going to be a good mom. And, Dommy, can you draw for her, please? Please. Okay. So whenever I... Okay, here's Dommy, right here. Okay. Here he is. Here, Dommy's going to draw the picture for you. Go, Dommy, please draw that for her. Okay, sorry. So I was pregnant, so I had the baby. I loved her. Of course I did. But I did not love myself. I didn't recognize my body. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't even know who I was. I stayed out of pictures. My mother-in-law was actually I can remember it like it was yesterday. My mother-in-law was taking a picture. You know, we were putting up the tree, which was it was just this beautiful memory. And she took pictures without me knowing. And I looked at those pictures, and I saw myself, and I was so disgusted. I cried for weeks about it. And so then, you know, when I saw a post by Megan, I was like, sign me up. I didn't even ask the price. I didn't even know what Shakeology was, and it didn't matter. If she was offering me hope, that's what I wanted. So, you know, I did a 90-day challenge group. After about 15 days, I think I was the only one participating. Every day for 90 days, I was the only person that participated. And I did my T25. I lost my weight, and you know, at this point, everything was on a credit card, by the way. I was like, well, I'm just going to put on a credit card, and, you know, whatever, it'll be fine. But then eventually, the cost got to be too much. My husband got a hold of the credit card statement, and he was like threatening to cut off my Shakeology, which at this point was like my lifeline. And I felt like myself again. I felt like I had, you know, I felt good again. So I signed up to be a discount coach a year ago today. And when I went to sign up, my card got declined. I didn't have enough in my bank account. So I used my husband's credit card. He fought with me about a month later when he found that out, but it's okay. But, you know, so fast forward, I made it work. And, you know, last month I was able to make enough to, you know, pay our mortgage. And my husband's been out of work, and this business has been a godsend for me. And when I get messages from people that say that, you know, help me, thank you for getting my life back. And, you know, this one message just sticks out of my mind. This one of my challengers' husbands had messaged me and said, thank you for what you've done for my wife. And that's what it's about, because here's his eyes. Here's his eyes. You all have something to offer. And there's some mom at home feeling like crap, or some single lady just feeling like they don't recognize themselves anymore, and they can't love themselves enough to love other people. So, shh, there's his foot. Okay, there. So whenever you are, there's no one else like you. And I think that it is scary, you know, to put yourself out there on social media. I kind of glazed over the whole social media thing, but I never posted on social media ever. And, you know, I told myself in the beginning, I need to do once a day, or I need to do twice a day. And so that's how I started. And now I'm annoying. I post all the time. But, you know, once I let go of the fact that I was afraid people were going to judge me, and I realized that sharing my story would help other people, it's not even a factor anymore. I mean, it just isn't. So that is my story. And sorry for all the distractions and interruptions, but you know what? That's my life. You know, it just is. I'm a hot mess. I do everything, you know, kind of crazy backwards. All the mistakes that we've talked about, I've done them 10 times, but I'm still doing it. I gave myself 6 months, and at the 6 months mark, I'm gonna give myself 6 months more. Well, now I'm all in. I'm all in. So I'm excited to be telling my team, you know, a year from now, like Megan did, like, look, I hit my financial goal this week. So, you know. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my chest. So, Lisa, back to Lisa.
Well, that's a hard one to follow. Nadia, you're an inspiration to all of us. I remember early on talking to Nadia when Adam and I lived with my parents for 6 months when we moved to Charlotte, and Adam was not at all happy with living with my parents, and it was a very stressful time, especially with a new baby who's only 6 months old. And Nadia was like, "Girl, I got you. I live with my parents. My husband and I live with my parents for 2 years." Yeah. So she's like, "It'll get better. Once you leave and get get an apartment or out on your own, your all's relationship will get better." So Nadia is an amazing mentor and an amazing mom, and we love you, girl. And everybody has a story like that, guys. Your story, like Nadia said, it is inspiring so many people. And you don't even know it. You have no idea the people that you're reaching and touching and the lives that you're changing. And Nadia, I think, mentioned this, and this is for a lot of us. You know, it's getting that sexy back, right? For us, it's like once you lose that mojo, like once you, as a female being, once you lose that little piece of you, that glimmer of like, I feel good about myself. I feel good about what I look like. I like the girl I see in the mirror. Once you start to get that back, it starts to come back. Man, you're just better all the way around. You're better to society. You're better to your family, your friends. So when you can inspire that in other people, that's amazing, because you're changing their lives and everybody that they affect lives. So it's the ripple effect. But I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. It's 10:15. It's been an hour. Thanks again, you guys. It means a lot to Nadia and I that you guys hopped on this call tonight, because usually when the mouse is away, when the cat's away, the mice will play. And there's still 13 of you guys on this call. So thank you. Kudos to you, leaders on your team.
And the other thing I did,
You.
okay, the other thing I did want to mention, if you feel like you can't connect with someone's specific story, use someone as an example. Use someone, use one of your teammates. Get familiar with some of the top coaches' story. Just because you don't feel like you connect doesn't mean there's not somebody out there that's had success in a very similar situation. So, all right. But
Always. Nice. Ladies, thank you guys so much. Everybody have a beautiful night. Yes. Love you all. And let's rock out July. We got one more day. Later, Gators.